And we're rocking. Welcome back to Ages of Film Rebirth. We are going through the Scream franchise leading up to the premiere of Scream 7. We're on to Scream 2, so let's talk about it. I'm Clayton. Thank you all for being here. While you're here, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Join the pack, get in on all the fun, and help the channel out, all right? So Scream 2, a good sequel, solid, great film. Like I said in the last review for the original Scream, I don't think there's a bad Scream movie. So while I personally may not love this film to the extent that I love the original Scream, I still freaking love this movie, man. I still think it's a great film. I still think it's a great sequel. Have a lot of fun with it. Watching it back for this review, it still holds up for me as well. So I'm going to get into the positives first. Talk about the things that I liked with this film, and then the things that I didn't like with the film. And then I basically just give an overall rating of the film based on what I liked, what I didn't like, and then, give you my overall thoughts. So as far as things that I like with this film, I love that they bring back the same core group of characters. And this is something that Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven did really well by flipping the slasher formula on its head. A lot of these slasher films, unfortunately, a lot of times you don't really get invested with the core group of characters the way you would like to, because most of them are just there for cannon fodder. They're mostly just there to get killed off. So you only spend one film with them, and if you don't get invested with them after that first one, too bad. Scream does the opposite. Scream actually really lets you invest with these characters by bringing them back repeatedly, putting them in new environments, new situations, new places in their life, and really let you connect with them. So when they do get killed off, it has a greater emotional punch to it, in my opinion. And this sequel was the first time that really happened, where you bring back the same core group of characters and you change up the killers. And so I like that they did that with this film. I like seeing the next stage for these characters, Sydney at college, Dewey now off the force, but still that charming guy that you can't help but love him. Randy now goes from kind of being the film nerd at high school, where he was kind of the joke. Now he's kind of the cool kid. He's in his own element here, in film school type of thing. And he's kind of the star of his class now. And so I like seeing that new progression for that character. I liked that we do get the same Ghostface presentation, but new characters as Ghostface. And I'll get more into them in a little bit, but I love seeing where Sydney goes after the first one. That first one, she's dealing with these murders. She's dealing with her mom's death that was pretty recent for her. Now she's facing and dealing with the trauma that she experienced from the events of that first film. And she still, she stays the course, man. She fights, she grows inwardly, but it also allows a lot of plot and a lot of tension to build, because you can play off those events from the first one and really test the character psychologically, internally, just to test that inner strength of the character. And I think they do a really good job with that in this film. Sydney has to deal with those trust issues of her boyfriend, Derek, in the film, who I really like. That's another character who's a new addition to the series, obviously, because Billy was her boyfriend in the first one. He was the killer, so he gets RIP'd. They bring in Derek now as her new boyfriend, and a character that I actually really like. I think he shows a lot of character, a lot of class. You know, he's a likable character because you see that he really cares about Sydney, and how far he's willing to go, even embarrassing himself in front of, you know, all the school, you know, students, in the cafeteria scene. You know, to show how much he cares about Sydney. So he's a very likable boyfriend. He's not that typical jock, jerkish, you know, dickish type of boyfriend. He's actually a good dude, likable guy. So I do like Derek in the film. Was really sad to see him kick rocks, because he is a character I wanted to make it out of the film. So he was a good addition, I thought. And, you know, they had a few other new characters in here as well. One of them being Mickey, who obviously turns out to be one of the two killers in the film. I'm going to get back to Mickey because I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that character. But I do like bringing Billy Loomis's mother into the film as the other character. She kind of plays this reporter type of character. We're introduced to her as this kind of reporter, kind of like Gale. And she kind of plays off Gale a little bit, and I kind of like their interactions together throughout the film. And then she's revealed to be Billy's mother. Her motive is basically revenge. Makes perfect sense, right? I'm you know, I'm down for it. So her motives feel very coherent, feel very real. This girl killed her son. She wants payback. She wants to kill the girl that killed her son. It makes perfect sense to me. So to me, her motives worked. And it also makes sense to me that at least one of Billy's parents would also be really psychotic and really, you know, off their rocker. So bringing her in as, you know, one of the killers, to me, it makes perfect sense. I think it works. I think the actress plays the character really well. She plays the kind of the fake fraud reporter facade really well. But then when she has to snap and turn it on in that third act, when she's revealed to be one of the killers, I think she turns it on and really flips that switch and is very believable as the psycho, you know, crazy killer in the film. So she's definitely my favorite of the two killers in this film. I think she works really well, and liked her addition in the film. I also love Cotton Weary, man. I love, part of it is the actor, Liev Schneider or something like that. I'm horrible with names, guys. I'm sorry. I love that actor. I love the character of Cotton Weary, and seeing his interactions with Sydney in the film, who obviously accused him of murder in the first film, and now they kind of have to work together. And then that third act, he ends up being the one that saves Sydney's life. And I just thought that was a good kind of poetic way to bring Cotton in, have him matter. Again, he's not just a wasted character. He's actually playing a significant role in the film, in the plot of the film, and ends up being the one that saves Sydney's life in the end, even though she was wanting his life essentially to end in the first one. So I just thought that was a cool kind of poetic way to bring him in. Love the performance. Very, you know, he just has a lot of energy, and on-screen presence to him, in my opinion. So yeah, I really enjoyed the addition of Cotton Weary in this film. I do like the story here as well. I like kind of like what I was talking about earlier, how they do explore new things with the characters, and new location, new environment, new setting, and I like it. I don't know that I like it to the degree that I like the setting and tone of the first one, but I do still like the setting here, and I like the new the new aesthetic to the film, the new location and where it's taking place. That's one thing cool about Ghostface, is that he's not, Jason, where he has to be at Camp Crystal Lake every time, or a Michael that has to be at Haddonfield every time. Like, Ghostface characters, you could set the film anywhere and still have Ghostface be there. And I think that's something cool about the series, and that's something that I liked with this one, that they put you in a new environment, new location, and give you something new in the backdrop. The blocking and staging of the film to be different, while still maintaining that Scream vibe and feel and 90s feel to the film. And that's something that I really enjoyed with it as well. I did like some of the kills in here. I thought were actually pretty good. They weren't all just stabby stabs. You had the scene where Ghostface throws that one girl over the cliff, over the balcony of the campus, the dorm or whatever it is. And you see her fall and just splatter on the concrete. That's a gnarly kill, man. That was one I really enjoyed. And then my favorite is probably the officer guy, the security dude that gets the pole through his face, through his eye. That's still a gnarly scene, man. That scene still holds up for me. When I watched it this time around, it still got a visceral reaction out of me. It's just an awesome scene, and you just see his hand shaking on the side afterwards. I just thought that was a really gnarly kill, and so I liked how they added a couple of those in this film, instead of just having them all be stabs and slashes and stuff like that. So yeah, the kills were good. I've always loved that Ghostface voice, the creepy, eerie Ghostface voice. I always like, and it gives that character personality, and something that's iconic with the character, not just the look, but also the voice of the Ghostface killer. Always enjoy that as well. So man, I think Wes Craven does a good job directing it as well. And so those are basically all the things that I really enjoy with Scream 2. As far as negatives, there are some issues that I do have with Scream 2. I'm not really a fan of the opening in this film, the opening sequence at the movie theaters with this couple. I don't feel like it adds anything significant to the film. Like, these characters play absolutely no significant role in the plot. Like in the first one, the girl that gets killed off in the opening, Drew Barrymore, she may not necessarily play anything significant in the plot of that film, but she's still a character that Sydney and her friends knew. Like, it was still personal. Like, she still went to their school. They knew her. The two people that get killed in the opening of Scream 2, I just don't really feel had any significance to any of the main characters or the plot of the film. I also missed the phone call. Like, to me, Scream should open up with that phone call with Ghostface, playing mind games with his victim, that type of thing. That was missing in the opening sequence of Scream 2. And I didn't really care for the opening here. I don't feel narratively or theatrically it played any significant role really in the film or the plot. So it just didn't really do anything for me. I think it's one of the weakest opening sequences in the Scream franchise, so that could have been done better for me, in my opinion. I also not a fan of how they present Gail in this film. I feel like they kind of undermine her emotional arc and victory in the first one. You know, in the first one, we're introduced to her as this very kind of entitled, arrogant, kind of prima donna type of character, reporter character, who has to be humbled throughout the film. And then in the start of this one, instead of going from that point, that victory point, they go directly back to exactly where she started in the first one, back to that arrogant, entitled, kind of a Karen type of character in the film, and has to be humbled again. So it just feels like they repeat the same type of emotional arc with Gail in this one, instead of actually exploring that emotional victory from the first one. So to me, I would have liked to have seen that character actually, that emotional arc and earned victory from the first one actually kind of pay off in this one. And I don't really feel they gave me that. And then this was going back to the Mickey character who I brought up earlier. I really wasn't a fan of Mickey in this film. I don't think they did as good of a job with the misdirection. Like, to me, even the first time I saw this film, I kind of picked Mickey out. Like, I kind of knew, like, okay, this guy's probably one of the killers. I don't feel like they hit it very well in this movie. And then the performance of Mickey, I felt was a little strong, especially in that third act. There's a few scenes, a few dialogue deliveries that don't really work for me, where I feel like he overplays it and it's just a little too strong. It feels more like a performance rather than a genuine creepy psycho killer guy. And his motives, I also thought, were kind of the weakest. Like, Billy's mother, her motives made perfect sense. I'm on board with it. But Mickey's motives felt a little like, okay, that's a little cheesy for me. The character didn't really come off very well, in my opinion. And I don't think the misdirection for him was handled all that well. So yeah, and there's a few spotty points in that third act where, you know, Sydney's trying to get away from Billy's mother, where I think they get a little lazy, a little sloppy. You know, there's the scene where Sydney essentially makes the whole rock wall on the stage collapse on Billy's mother, and then 2 seconds later, she's already up behind the curtain trying to kill Sydney again. It's like, okay, she was literally just buried under those stones 2 seconds ago, and now she's already out and killing Sydney again. Stuff like that just it was more noticeable in this film because it's sloppiness that wasn't really done in the first one. They handled those things really well in the first film. Here, they let loose a little bit on those conveniences, and they stick out to me. So yeah, just a few negatives, a few things that do still bother me with Scream 2, but overall, I still love this movie. I think they do a really great job with the tension. I think they do a really good job with the characters for the most part. The vibe, the feeling is all still there. The callbacks and the nods to other films is still there, that I enjoy. So yeah, and they do raise the stakes. You know, Randy's death was, you know, that's a hard death scene because it's a character that you've really invested in, you really care about. So when he gets RIP'd, you feel it, man. So, because, you know, because of the time spent with him, but they're also not afraid to go there. They're also not afraid to kill off a main character. So some more daring things, and yeah, overall still a great sequel, a great film. Thoroughly enjoy Scream 2. I'm going to give Scream 2 a 4-star rating review. 4 out of 5 for me. Those are my thoughts on Scream 2. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you like this film? Is it a good sequel? Is it your favorite Scream movie? Let me know down below. And until next time, you freaks, kick it and rock on.